Hello, how are you? Good? Good. Okay. Now the formalities are over, let's get straight to the point. Politics. Ooh, can't talk about that around the dinner table, can you? Well, guess what? We're not around the dinner table. Surprise. Prepare for some serious bitching, bitches. Every politician, love them or hate them, has a vision of how they want Australia to look. Now, that vision may include turning Australia into a Saudi Arabia minus the welfare and Muslims, or making it easier to do nangs in a park, or forcing mandatory 2-for-1 OPSM deals.
The price of monocles is diabolical. Every time I get heated and... there we go, another $100. The Australian Democrats, we're back.
Now, until recently, I would have told you that the notable exception to that rule is the Liberal government, which is like being ruled by the right as a pedestrian, but replace pedestrians' drug-fueled insecurity with God-fueled confidence. But at their core, they're the same. Outfits of amoral sluggards with a couple of aesthetic cultural differences that boil down to pedestrian thinking the height of Australian culture is that chick from the Telstra ads. While I bet most Liberals would argue that it's Guy Sebastian's album Like It Like That. But I'll tell you one thing. The Australian Democrats' vision of cheap monocles is needed now more than ever to gaze upon the Liberals' teeny aspirations for this nation's future. If Scott Morrison was Martin Luther King, this would be his famous speech.
I have a dream that my 2 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not have sports grants endowed by what makes economic sense, but by what electorate they live in.
That's their idea of a better Australia.
That's a nice trophy cabinet.
Scott Morrison, in the run-up to last year's election, broke the law. Good on you, Scotty, you deplorable sack of shit. Wish I could say I was surprised, along with Deputy National Leader Bridget McKenzie.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad we live in a democracy? Have been busted handing out millions of dollars worth of voter sweeteners. That, absolute stroke of luck coincidence that those sport grants all just so happen to fair and square completely land in marginal and Liberal seats. Even more of a coinky-dink that Scott Morrison's local soccer club started building their project without money, or even before the sports grants were announced. But, oh look, 200,000 just manifested straight in their lap. La la la.
Guardian angel, smugly looking down on you.
And seeing as it is the Shire, there is a hell of a lot of Tree of Life shops, so we could just chalk that down to them recently watching The Secret. But how do you explain Miss Diddling Ding 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 giving $36,000 to a shooting club that she's a member of? She also signed up on a grant to keep all those disadvantaged youths out of trouble in Mossman. $500K to a rowing club.
Well, it's a remarkably successful program. Everyone in it grows up to be a lawyer or a banker.
And what's this inexplicable turnaround on renewable energy? All of a sudden the libs moving from,
yeah, gas is renewable, isn't it? Oh, well, there's heaps of it, so close enough. To, solar, yeah, can't get enough of it.
As long as it's going to the most exclusive golf clubs in Australia.
Well, pumping water straight from the Darling isn't cheap these days.
Now, I know this sounds like a bit of a broken record, but... If this were the Labor Party, there would have been an internal coup, a prominent resignation. And you know how I know? Because this exact scenario happened in 1994. Months of media hounding to the point that even I, still in my nappies, was thinking, I might not know what a parliament or day is, but one thing I know for sure is that Ross Kelly has really done the dirty on this one. That's because the media has what's known as a double standard.
Oh, Paul Keating's so arrogant, he thinks he's bloody better than us. Oh, Scomo's so arrogant, just like your mate who's arrogant. You know that, mate? One of the boys.
Take SJW shit. You know, one of the key comments I got last election was, yeah, affording a house would be mad, Geordies, but I assume Clementine Ford would preference Labor ahead of the Liberals. Sometimes you just gotta take one for the team, you know? It's because when the Labor Party says some cuck shit, Murdoch Press dwells on it for days, so you think, Labor SJWs, Liberals PJWs. This was Cletus's wife's defence. Look at her. Brandine. This is what she said about one of her grants.
One of the issues that this grant program was seeking to address was the fact that on the back of our successful elite female athletes in AFLW and the Women's Rugby League codes, we were seeing this tsunami of young women rocking up to their local clubs to have a game, to learn a new sport and to participate and adopt a healthy lifestyle. And yet there was nowhere for them to get changed, there was nowhere for them to have showers, and there was nowhere for them to even go to the toilet.
Brave. Problem was, Bridgie, you gave $500,000 to a rugby club that doesn't have a women's team.
Well, build it and they will come.
Cricket. So you see, kids, if you're a Labor politician and you say something too SJW or too based or exist, the Murdoch press will hound you like a current affair hounds neighbours with rat's tails and throw scrap metal over the fence. But when you're a Liberal politician, not only are you allowed to weaponise identity politics, you could use it to blatantly excuse corruption. But you know what I say to that? I say you should tell 2 of your friends to subscribe to Friendly Geordies. Come on. If everyone watching this told 2 of their friends to subscribe, our audience would be the size of 7 News. How good would that be? Next generation's Mark Ferguson wearing a no smoking in Turkmenistan shirt. And you know what that means if our channel is the size of 7 News next election?
Now who's laughing? Now who's laughing?
Get it done. Let's build an audience big enough that we can paint the Liberals the same way Murdoch paints Labor. Obsessed with identity politics. Honestly, I'm surprised that they haven't declared what gender the logo is yet. Like this video, get 2 of your friends to subscribe so we can get some comments in the news.com article section about another example of the cuckoldry that possesses the modern day Liberal Party. A far cry from Howard.